immigration, and reports say the Senate's Gang of Eight draft bill for immigration reform could be released as early as tomorrow. Aides do say, though, the process of debating details in the bill will stretch a few more weeks than anticipated. Senator Marco Rubio, who is such a key player in all this, wants that lengthier debate. The news comes as tens of thousands are expected to rally for immigration reform in Washington later today. I'm joined by Congressman Jared Polis, Democrat from Colorado, who will be at the rally this afternoon. It is good to see you. Good morning.
Hi, Chris.
What are you hearing about this draft bill over on the Senate side?
Well, first of all, we are so excited that tens of thousands of people from across the country, great, honest, would-be Americans who want more than anything else to pay taxes and be part of our great country are here making their case. And we encourage people to tweet out #TimeIsNow. And the time is now. The time was yesterday. The time was last year. We are optimistic about the Gang of Eight working together. We have a working group here in the House as well. And for the first time since I've been in Congress, I'm optimistic about the real opportunity to pass comprehensive immigration reform.
Well, the bipartisan House Gang of Eight is also working on immigration reform, but said to disagree on a couple of potential flashpoints: visas for low-skilled workers and restrictions on companies that hire skilled workers. How serious are these roadblocks in your estimation?
Well, we had a breakthrough agreement now about a week and a half ago between the AFL-CIO and Chamber of Commerce about specifically low-skilled workers. We're very excited about that, to have both business and labor support the bill is critical. I think we'll get there. We're 99% of the way there now. Look, this bill is in the interest of every American, whether you're a union member, whether you're a small business owner, whether you work for a big company. That we're talking about making our country stronger. We're talking about securing our borders, and we're making sure we have a pathway to citizenship for the so many would-be Americans, many of whom are here in Washington with us today.
In the meantime, though, you have these outside conservative groups who are preparing to use the price tag of immigration reform to try to derail any bill to overhaul immigration. They're kind of in this race with supporters of the bill to see if they can kill it by capitalizing on what has been a lot of anxiety over budget cuts. How concerned are you about the cost of reform, and what do you say to voters who may be concerned or listening, to some of the ads from these conservative groups?
I've long advocated immigration reform as a way of closing our budget deficit. I had an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal about that topic a year or so ago. Look, by expanding the tax base, when else would we have tens of thousands of people coming to Washington saying we want to pay taxes? This is incredible. We're talking about 10 million people. Do they pay taxes today? Some do, some don't. If we have a pathway going forward, everybody here will pay taxes, be part of our system, give back to the community, have the same responsibilities as anybody else. This is a big part of closing our budget deficit through immigration reform.
Well, speaking of closing the deficit, your state of Colorado has legalized the recreational use of marijuana, and you've been advocating taxing pot. Look, you know the arguments that are against it. They say it's just going to raise the price, it's going to drive users right back to illegal dealers, and I've also read a number of analysis that say that when you really look at the numbers, you don't make that much money in the long run. What do you say to those folks?
It's a big deal nationally. We're talking about over 10 years, tens of billions of dollars, $50 to $100 billion, makes a real dent in the deficit, prevents us from having to cut programs that matter to people. And look, as long as the tax is somewhere in the 15–25% range, that's what's being talked about in Colorado, it'll still be less expensive than the black market. It's got to be less expensive through the regulated legal market.
What's been going on in Colorado that would give you pause?
So far, the implementation's been going well. We've had medical marijuana for years, already generating sales tax revenue for municipalities and counties in the state. With the full regulated sale, we're going to take the money out of the hands of drug dealers and criminal cartels and put it in the hands of legitimate business people and public benefit as well.
Colorado Congressman Jared Polis, good to see you. Thanks for coming on.
Always a pleasure, Chris.